So recently I made a couple of videos where I proved that the events in the Dragon's Blood anime and the events in the Dota 2 game are actually taking place in two separate realities. And in this video I'm going to talk about why I think the events in the Dota 1 game also took place in an alternate universe that is very similar to the Dota 2 universe. But before we begin, I gotta say that this video is part of a bigger theory that is split up into multiple parts, and these theory videos are interconnected like shown here. Yes, I know this might look confusing, but all you need to know for now is that you are currently watching this video right here, and I highly recommend you to watch the videos that came before this video to properly understand the things that I'm going to say in this video. And the links for all of the related videos are in the description box below if you want to check them out. But if you already watched the previous videos of this theory, let's begin this video. Okay, I have reason to believe that the events in Dota 1 actually took place in an alternate universe that is very similar to the Dota 2 universe. Yes, I know this might sound like a weird claim if you guys watched Sir Actionslag's theory on the Earthshaker's planet for Larkena. And by the way, if you guys haven't watched his video for whatever reason, you guys really should check out his video for the complete theory. And I'll leave the link for his video in the description box below. But anyways, in that video he talked about the Earthshaker's Arcana and came to the conclusion that the events in Dota 1 actually occurred in the Dota 2 universe but just in a different planet. So basically, the events of Dota 1 happened in a planet where the Ancients landed a long time ago and carried out the Battle of the Ancients, but their eternal conflict caused the Dota 1 planet to get corrupted and destroyed over time. And after the destruction of this planet, Archon crushed the Ancients in the Mad Moon and flung them into space like mentioned in his lore, and this Mad Moon found its way into another planet and started orbiting that planet, and this planet was the Dota 2 world. And after orbiting this planet for some time, the Mad Moon shattered, causing the Ancients to fall down into the Dota 2 world and start the Battle of the Ancients all over again, just like it did back in the Dota 1 world. And in that same theory, Sir Actionslags also suggested that maybe the world on the rim, which is the world that Outworld Devourer originates from and talks about in his voice lines, is actually the Dota 1 world that got destroyed a long time ago.
From the world on the rim.
And after the destruction of his planet, which is the world on the rim, he came to the Dota 2 world to warn about the impending danger that is gonna befall the Dota 2 world.
Ill omens. I bring bad news. I'm warning you. Fair warning.
So as you can see, all of this makes it seem like the Outworld Devourer is actually a Dota 1 hero existing in Dota 2. And this is the main gist of Sir Actionslag's theory on the planet for Larkena. And again, I highly recommend you guys to go check out his video for the full detailed version of this theory, because honestly it's a pretty good theory and the links for his video is in the description box below. However, although I do agree with a lot of things that Sir Actionslag said in his theory, I personally have a different way of interpreting the story of the planet for Larkena. And this is where my theory comes in. You see, I noticed that there is one loophole in this theory, because if the Outworld Devourer is the only hero from the Dota 1 planet who made his way into the Dota 2 planet, then how does Dota 2 have a lot of heroes that are the same as the heroes that existed in Dota 1? I mean, these heroes are essentially the same characters despite having different appearances and backstories in these two games. Sure, we do know that Dota 2 is a reboot of Dota 1 in the real world, but from a lore and world building standpoint, it doesn't make sense for both of these games or worlds to have the same characters as heroes unless the Dota 1 world is the same as the Dota 2 world but from a parallel universe. So they are essentially parallel worlds of each other, and this would explain why both of these two worlds have the same characters as heroes. So the Dota 1 heroes and the Dota 2 heroes who have counterparts in both of these games might actually be alter egos of each other, just like the alter egos of Aghanim that we see in the Aghanim's Continuum event. And we did see that all of the Aghanim alter egos are different from each other in some way despite the fact that they are all the same person. And this shows that although alter egos are the same person from different universes, they are bound to have some differences. And this lines up perfectly with the fact that the heroes from Dota 1 and Dota 2 are similar but not exactly the same, because like I said before, they do have differences in their appearances and backstories, but they are still essentially the same characters nevertheless. And this would explain the differences between these alter ego characters in both of these two games, like the fact that Terrorblade and Antimage were brothers back in Dota 1, but in Dota 2 they aren't brothers anymore, and the list of differences between the Dota 1 and Dota 2 counterparts goes on, but I'm sure you guys get the point by now. However, to really prove that the Dota 1 world and the Dota 2 world exist in two different universes, I gotta talk about the two ancients, or more specifically, I gotta talk about the two ancients' names. You see, the two ancients are referred by two different names in these two games, but you might think that this is irrelevant. However, according to the Sundered Moon comic, we learn that the real names of the two ancients have always been Radinthul and Dirul since the beginning of time, and you can see that their Dota 2 names are derivatives of their real names, because obviously these two names are really hard to pronounce, but over on the Dota 1 universe their names are clearly not derivatives of these two names, and the fact that they have different names suggests that the Dota 1 Ancients and the Dota 2 Ancients aren't the same entities. Yes, I know this might sound like a stretch, but it's worth noting that the primordial mind is something that existed even before the beginning of the universe, and the only logical reason for this name change from a lore and world building standpoint is that the Ancients named themselves different names in these two different universes. So all of this proves that the Dota 1 world and the Dota 2 world are parallel worlds of each other that exist in two separate parallel universes. And this clears up a lot of things. However, there is one problem, and that is if the Dota 1 world doesn't exist in the Dota 2 universe, then where does the previous Battle of the Ancients take place in the Dota 2 universe? I mean, if you look at Arc Warden's lore, it is implied that the Battle of the Ancients did take place in another planet before the Arc Warden arrived at that planet and trapped the Ancients in the Mad Moon and flung them out to orbit the Dota 2 world. So what was this other world then? Well, if we go back to Sir Action's theory, remember how he suggested that the world on the rim and the Dota 1 world might be the same world? Well, what if they aren't the same world and the world on the rim is actually the world where the previous Battle of the Ancients took place in the Dota 2 universe? So basically, these three worlds are connected as follows. The world on the rim and the Dota 2 world are two different worlds from the same universe, while the Dota 1 and the Dota 2 worlds are the same world from different universes. Hence why these two worlds are referred as sister planets according to the Planetfall Arcana voice lines. And this brings me back to the Earthshaker's Arcana, where the Earthshaker's Arcana talks about this sister Earth that got destroyed, and he seems to have memories of this place, because somehow the Dota 1 Earthshaker have sent his consciousness to the Dota 2 Earthshaker from this parallel world.
It was Earth, but it was not our Earth. And now it is a part of me. I cannot say now where it came from, but I can feel the place. I know that somewhere, across distances I cannot describe, a world ended. And I know that this world ended in great pain. But I will learn how to cross such great distances and avenge the wrongs done my sister Earth.
And I think there's a special reason why only the two Earthshakers could communicate across alternate universes like this, and that is because of one simple reason. You see, according to the lore of both the Earthshakers from Dota 1 and Dota 2, it is stated that the Earthshaker is linked to the world that he was born into. So since according to my theory, the Dota 1 world and the Dota 2 world are essentially the same world existing in two different parallel universes, it is possible that the Dota 2 Earthshaker can feel the destruction that occurred in the Dota 1 world because of this same connection that he has to the world itself. And since the Dota 1 Earthshaker also have this same innate connection to this planet, his consciousness must have somehow leaked into this universe through this planet and onto the Dota 2 Earthshaker when the Dota 1 world got destroyed. And this is why the Earthshaker Arcana is called the Planetfall Arcana, because the planet that fell is the Dota 1 planet. And since the consciousness of the Dota 1 Earthshaker now lives inside the Dota 2 Earthshaker in his Arcana form, he starts to act like the Dota 1 Earthshaker, where he starts to carry his totem in a way that is similar to the Dota 1 Earthshaker, and he also starts to recall the memories of the Dota 1 Earthshaker as visions about the destruction of the Dota 1 world.
I am changing. No, I am changed. I felt something in the first days, even before the visions arrived. But the onset of the dreams, or should I say memories, drove that other strange feeling from my mind. Now, there are changes too striking to ignore, and I can only wonder, what will my sister Earth make of me? I still live. The strange memories I carry still remain. The cosmic dreams reveal aspects of the path, but the rest is up to me.
So I think this is how it goes. Both of these games exist in alternate universes that have parallel timelines which are almost identical to each other. So this area in the timeline represents the time where the events of these two parallel worlds played out in a similar manner. So basically we can say that this was the time where Dota 1 was active, where it constantly got updates that introduced new heroes to the game. And in the Dota 2 timeline, this same area represents the time where Dota 2 slowly ported over Dota 1 heroes into the game. And then at this point in time, the destruction of the Dota 1 planet planet happened. And this destruction of the Dota 1 planet might be a metaphor for Dota 1 shutting down over on the real world. But over on the Dota 2 universe, this destruction never happened, and therefore the timeline continued and new heroes were added to Dota 2 who never really existed in the Dota 1 game. And this is because in the Dota 1 timeline, the planet got destroyed before these heroes had a chance to be introduced into the game. So all of this proves that the events in Dota 1 and Dota 2 occurs in two parallel universes that had very similar timelines, but have diverged because of this cataclysmic event that befell the Dota 1 world. And this is what sets these two timelines apart and makes Dota 1 and Dota 2 two different games. And I think the reason why the Dota 2 world didn't get destroyed like the Dota 1 world might be because only one world was destined to be destroyed in each timeline. So in the Dota 1 universe, the planet that unfortunately had to die off is the Dota 1 world itself. But over on the Dota 2 universe, that destruction already took place in the world on the rim, and therefore the Dota 2 world didn't have to get destroyed because this world destruction event already occurred in the Dota 2 universe, but just in a different planet. And all of this shows that although the world on the rim and the Dota 1 world shared a similar fate, they are not the same world. And this is why I say that the events in Dota 1 and Dota 2 takes place in the same world in parallel universes, hence why they are parallel worlds of each other. So yeah, that's it for this video guys. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this, and comment down below and let me know what you guys think about the Dota 1 alternate universe theory, because I would really love to know what you guys think. And with that said, don't forget to watch the other videos of this theory, because like I said at the start of this video is just one part of a bigger interconnected theory. So I highly recommend you guys to check out the other videos of this ongoing theory. And also don't forget to watch Sir Action's theory on the Planetfall Arcana, and the links for his video and all of the other related videos are in the description box below, so you guys can check them out if you like. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.